Hi, this is Jill from Gilbert's Bits of Bites, and I'm here today to show you my inked edges action. And if you've played with my painted edges action, it's actually something that's very similar. Um, it's like a saying my daughter has, it's exactly the same, only different. There are some differences. In particular, the very first action here, this one actually will ask you for a width, whereas the others you get the default. The first one is also one that it's not all that random. The others will actually end up being somewhat random. You don't get exactly the same every time you run it. So let's get started here on this first one. This works on JPEGs or a flattened file like paper. And then I have a second one of this, each one is the same edge. This one's for PNG files, and it's something that has a transparent background. So here we go. Let's run this one here. And as you can see, it comes up and asks you, what width do you want? Now you can set the default. Unfortunately, it ends up kind of being small for a paper, so I'm going to up it to 25 pixels. Say OK. Now, as you can see, it's black, and that's the only choice you have. I did this black so that you could choose later what color you want that to be. You can kind of pick and play with it, let's say. But there is a difference between how you color things like this in Photoshop Elements versus just Photoshop. And as you can see, I keep it on its own layer, so that's it. You can actually just save out the edge if you want and forget about the paper. But as you can see here, what you're going to do to color this is you're going to come up here under the layer and you're going to choose a fill layer and this solid color. Now, one thing you have to make sure you want to do is check this box down here that says use previous layer to create a clipping mask. It's not a problem if you forget it. You can always do it after the fact, but it's better not to have to worry about doing it after the fact. Now that the color picker comes up, you can pick, for example, through something from your paper, and it's kind of cool because it's interactive, so you can kind of pick and choose as you go. Another reason I like to do things that way. And then I can just say OK. You can also pick from your color swatches. You're not limited. You can pick your color that's within Photoshop Elements, and that's what I'm using. I'm using Photoshop Elements 2019. Now, there is a difference between the way you color things in Elements and the way you do it in Photoshop. And let me show you the Photoshop way. Now, these things run the same. In fact, they're really the same action. But it's what you do after the fact in order to color it that is different. So right here I'm going to do a different edge for a JPEG. Okay, so there you see there's another edge. Now if you have Photoshop, the easy way to do it, now you could still use that fill like I did in the other one, but here at least you can use your styles, and you can hit color overlay. This comes up, you can pick from your background, as you can see the colors changing here, and say OK. Now another thing you can do, and this is good for both Photoshop Elements and Photoshop, is that you can actually use it as a style. And as you can see up in here, I've got some grayscale glitter styles. So you see that? So if I want it to be a glitter, I could do that, and I can actually then color it after the fact too. I could do a color overlay, and I don't do normal because it all goes away, but I would say color since it's grayscale, and click on this, and you can see I've got different colors. Same thing with Photoshop Elements. I unfortunately don't have any of the styles that loaded there, but that's how you can get some glitter on those. Bling. Okay, let's go back to Elements. These also work, as I said, on Ping with a transparent background. And as you can see, this tag here, I'm sorry, I have allergies today. Okay, I run this. I'm not asking for a size edge, but again, the same sort of thing. You see how this comes here? Come up here again, like I said, and come to the layer, new fill layer, and do a solid color. Now, use previous layer. Now I can pick from here. As you see, it disappeared, but at least I know I still have the same sort of color value, hue, and I can play with it within the color picker, and that's how I have it there. Okay, Same thing with, Photoshop works the same way with that too. So that's it. I hope you enjoy it and have lots of fun.